Hello, this is PG, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing SurrounDead on Steam. SurrounDead is an open world zombie survival game developed by Survivor. The game sees you control a unique character in a harsh apocalyptic world where you've got to scavenge, craft, fight and most importantly, survive. So what is the game like to play? Well, you start out by creating your own unique survivor and also setting the difficulty of the game world experience. Then you're thrusted into a vast game world where zombies are lurking around every corner. The early stages involve you sneaking around settlements, scavenging for food and drink, and desperately trying to find key items like a duffel bag, guns, or medicine. Eventually you'll accumulate all manner of items that will help you on your way, like a pair of binoculars to scope out distant buildings, a flashlight to aid you in the very dark nights, or a plethora of gun attachments or placeable items once you find a place to call home. Finding a home is a bit tricky when compared to other zombie games. I mean, you can still build a base, but it's more like find somewhere you like and then customize it, as opposed to sort of building from scratch. You can place barriers, you can place lights, many other things that will make it feel like home. But you can't stay at home all day. In order to progress, you've got to get out there and explore. Thankfully, you'll quickly find getting around the game world, it's not as much of a slog as most survival games present you with. Cars are available almost straight away if you've got fuel and a repair kit. Now, I have to say, it was really refreshing to get a car early on in such a game as this. Cruise around akin to something like State of Decay, try to get a foothold, scavenge for items. Now, in terms of the combat, you can use melee weapons and you'll be doing that early on. Once you find guns and they're appropriately clean and fixed, you can then really make an impact on the larger groups of zombies. You can also equip other items to your loadout. There's clothing, there's body armor. And I would also say that the inventory screen is actually quite user-friendly, which does sound, it is quite a surprise for a PC game because usually these are absolutely bloody awful. Now, survival is measured by food, water and radiation. If you don't eat or drink for long enough, suddenly you'll start to die, and it does not take long to get that game over screen, let me tell you. Radiation is a problem, like I said, but these areas often have the best gear, so once you have enough appropriate loadout items to venture into radiation zones, it's well worth going into. What else is there? There's books. If you read them, you level up, you learn new skills, you can get skill points. You can also level up just by killing loads of zombies. Now, the amount of items in this game is really incredible, with little things like an equipable lunchbox to store your tinned food in. How useful was that? That was amazing. You can cook at crafting stations, you can craft other items at crafting stations, you can visit traders. And I think one thing to say about this game is the game world itself, it's vast and it's very easy to get lost in. It is a real proper adventure, but I really did enjoy exploring it. Now, this is a single player game and there's no multiplayer at present, so you might think, does it feel quite boring? Well, there are NPCs around the world, friendly, hostile, you have wandering traders, you have little groups that live here, there and everywhere, and of course you've got lots of different zombie variations which are quite dangerous if you get cornered. Now, it's also worth saying that this game has been updated pretty much every week for the last few months. I mean, like I said, there's no multiplayer, but they are always adding little bits here and there, and it is really starting to flesh out into a really interesting zombie game that I quite enjoyed. One thing to point out is there's no official controller support for those of you who like playing with a controller. I played with one of the community layouts. Now, it's kind of like 80% controller, 20% keyboard, so you need a keyboard handy. But playing with that was absolutely fine. I pretty much enjoyed it. It made it a lot more enjoyable to play with. But I do think full controller support would help. That will probably come when we start to hear echoes of the console release, if there is one. In terms of visuals, it's got this kind of lovely sort of lo-fi pastel shaded art style and graphical engine. I'd say it's very atmospheric as well. It's got some really nice weather transitions, quite cool looking environments, and the characters look fun as well. Sound is probably one of the worst parts of the game at the moment. Definitely isn't polished, limited ambience, the effects are okay, the music is a bit weird, it doesn't really feel appropriate to what's happening most of the time, but I think there's plenty of time for them to remedy that. Anyway, the verdict: SurrounDead is a very well made and thought out zombie survival game designed for solo players. It strikes almost the perfect balance between exploration, scavenging and danger, and it makes each session feel both unique but also quite satisfying. It has the biggest potential for a zombie survival game since Project Zomboid, but it already feels like it's learnt the lessons from other games like that in this genre with its kind of user-friendly and smooth day-to-day feel. The best compliment I can pay it is, while playing, it brought back memories of two of my favourite zombie games, 7 Days to Die and State of Decay 2. The map is very reminiscent of both of those games, and it just captures the right feel. It is tough, don't get me wrong, and there are some technical issues that could be annoying for some gamers, but there's nothing that really spoilt the game for me, no issues that negated the overall pleasure of playing. It's definitely one to watch. And one last point, for those wondering if I am going to recommend it, what I would say is if SurrounDead came to consoles tomorrow just out of the blue, like a shadow drop release, would I buy it? I bloody would. I'd buy it straight away. I wouldn't even question it because it's very good, it's very playable, and I think it's only going to get better. So, scoring, SurrounDead, I'd give it 9 out of 10, which does seem high, but I have to say, very good, very well made, massive potential, especially for the multiplayer in the future. Like, really enjoy this one. That's the review. Thanks for watching. This is PG signing off. Cheers.